Hey everyone, it's Kelsey aka Real with Mrs. B, and I'm back today because I was inspired by a video that Connie Porter actually did a little while ago. I'm a little bit behind. She did a video on the wills and won'ts of the Dave Ramsey plan, and I reached out to her to see if I could use that same idea and do a video. So essentially what it is I normally say I follow the Dave Ramsey plan, and maybe I should say I'm very much inspired by the Dave Ramsey plan. I love it. I think there's a lot of great aspects about it, but do I follow it 100%? No, I don't. So today I'm going to talk about the wills, as in like what I will follow, what I do follow of the Dave Ramsey plan, and then the won'ts, as in like the things that I don't quite follow with the Dave Ramsey plan. So if I'm looking down, it's because I got my Erin Condren planner and I wrote down some notes. So the things that we absolutely follow with the Dave Ramsey plan are, number one, the order of the baby steps. So I'm sure if you're watching my channel that you've heard of them or you follow them, but right now we are on baby step number 2 and we are paying off debt. And we did save up an emergency fund first, and I think it's crucial because if you don't have an emergency fund and something comes up, where are you going to get the money to pay for those things? Most people might reach for their credit card, and that's not a good place to be. So it's good to have that emergency fund, and I've like not touched it at all. It's fantastic, and I think it's really crucial to have that, and it gives you a sense of security and comfort to have that in case of something coming up. So definitely the order of the baby steps, I think that they are great. And then paying off debt, and then you are saving 3 to 6 months, working on saving for a home, etc., etc. I think that it's a great plan. The second thing that is a will that we follow with the Dave Ramsey plan is paying off our debts smallest to largest. We did, when we first started, we had a few credit cards, and then we had my student loans. And I did end up consolidating some of them. So I would say our number of debts was not as great as some people, and maybe doing the debt avalanche would work better for some people. I know that Lindsay's Frugal Life, it obviously works well for her, and that's fantastic. She has done some calculations to see that it actually saves her money, and Dave Ramsey says that the reason you do the smallest to largest is to give yourself some little wins to get your momentum going and keep you going. And I did find that. And I'm the kind of person that likes things a little more condensed. I'm that person that wants all of my accounts in one place and all of this in one place, just so it's easier. And having less debts to keep track of and less bills to have to pay was a big win. So we paid off the little credit cards really quickly. Then we had one big credit card that took us a little bit of time, and then we worked on my smallest student loans, and now we just have the consolidated student loans with about $35,000 or so on it. So I do think for us it really worked to do that debt snowball, pay off the little ones, get those little wins, and then build up how much we are able to put towards the next debt. And then when we pay off that one, a little bit more to the next debt. It just worked for us. And some people, debt avalanche is great too, as long as you're paying off debt. So those are the top 2 wills of the Dave Ramsey plan. So the won'ts. 1, I just refuse to give up restaurants, wine, and personal money. I know that Dave Ramsey says beans and rice, rice and beans. You shouldn't see the inside of a restaurant unless you're working there. I totally get it, and maybe my defense mechanism or my excuse is that we're not that much in debt compared to some people. But obviously we could save money if we gave up those types of things. But I feel like for us that it just works to keep us going because we still have things that we enjoy each month, that it doesn't feel so taxing and straining on our relationship and on our life. We are still very much enjoying life and paying a great deal towards debt every month. 40% I think is pretty good. Could I do 45% if I cut out, you know, wine and restaurants and personal money? Sure. But I think that for as long as we're going to be paying off debt, this is nice to have these little things each month. All right, another thing is, I guess I do follow the baby steps, but we are putting money towards retirement right now. That is not until a later step. Dave Ramsey says to stop contributing to retirement fund, especially at our age. But one, my job requires it. As a teacher, I have no choice, but I get matched 6.8%, which is free money, and that's going to take a long time to grow and be a pretty good chunk of money later on down the road. So I think it's worth it. That's 6.8%, and then that's matched. So right there is 13.2% going into a retirement fund. Now, John just got a promotion in his job, which is really exciting, and along with it came a raise. And then since he's been with this particular company for over a year now, he has the opportunity to put money into various accounts. So he had a meeting with basically a financial advisor at his work, and they matched 2%. So we sat down and talked about it, and we decided that 2% was an okay amount to get matched. I just feel like that's free money, and why not take advantage of that free money? Again, we're still putting 40% towards debt, so I think it is worth it to do this to save for our future. So in total then, we have 8.8% of our income that is matched. So we have 17.6% going into retirement. So Dave Ramsey would probably say you should keep that money and put it towards debt, but that's our choice. Alrighty, and another want of the Dave Ramsey plan is having extra emergency fund money. He says $1,000 is enough. I know many people with families that just $1,000 is not enough. If something went wrong with the kids or a hospital bill or something comes up, just $1,000 isn't enough. For us, the main reason why we wanted to increase our emergency fund was because I'm a teacher and I have summers off. I do work a part-time job teaching summer school over the summer. I have YouTube, and I also do dog walking, but that income is not nearly as much as I do get during the school year, and especially in August. So I felt like we needed to bump that up in case we needed to use some of that money to pay our expenses in particularly August. I also, especially early on, my husband has a 1999 Toyota Corolla, and it's got 210,000 miles on it. It is not going to last forever. And especially if something big goes on it, $1,000 might not be enough. Or if we have to scrap it and buy like a really crappy new car, we're going to need a little bit more than that. So I wanted that cushion. Now we do have a car emergency fund, but I still like having a bigger emergency fund because if we need to, you know, for any of the same reasons as before. So we really haven't touched it though, which is a great thing. But I think having that extra, we have about an extra $1,000 in there, I think is very beneficial. All right, and then the last thing is sinking funds as well. I don't know quite for sure what Dave Ramsey would say. He probably would say that your emergency fund pays for most of these things. He does support the fact that you should be saving for things if you know something's coming up like Christmas. You know that it's always going to be in December, that you're going to put a little bit of money put aside for that. I'm not sure that he would agree with all the sinking funds that we have. He would probably say that they're not necessary and we could put that money towards debt. However, for the ease of mind and comfort of having that money set aside for these various types of things, particularly I know what he wouldn't be against is like saving for a computer per se. Like, I don't need a computer. My computer works okay, and that's just something we're saving for. That's not necessary. Things like that, I think that he wouldn't be completely okay with, but that is still our plan. So I have missed one of the biggest wants of the Dave Ramsey plan, and it's not like I'm completely against it, but Dave Ramsey is absolutely against credit cards. Don't use them, cut them up immediately when you're trying to get out of debt, and I completely understand. John and I did have several credit cards to begin with, and we did have some credit card debt. That's pretty much what we were tackling first. And we weren't using our credit cards the entire time that we were getting out of credit card debt. However, we do still have 2 credit cards that are open accounts, and we really only use one of them. I could cancel the other one at any moment. We haven't used it in, I don't know, at least 2 years. I'm actually surprised that it hasn't already canceled on its own. But the only one that we do use is an Amazon credit card. I can't bring myself to cut it up. We pay it off monthly. The only time I ever use it actually is for Amazon purchases, because it gains 5% back on Amazon purchases. So it's actually pretty nice to have for those rewards. And I know Dave Ramsey would be so upset right now if he heard that. I think that it depends on who you are. If you're the kind of person that you can do small purchases on it and pay it immediately and reap the rewards aspect of it, then I think it's okay. But if you are very tempted, and the reason you are so much in debt is because of having credit cards, and you obviously haven't learned from it, you shouldn't tempt yourself whatsoever, and you should cut those up. I really think we've been on track since paying off the credit card debt, which the majority of our debt was student loans. I know I will never be in that point again, ever, of credit card debt, of not being able to pay something that month. So that is a big won't, and that he would be definitely against, but we do still have a couple of credit cards. That is our wills and won'ts of the Dave Ramsey plan. Again, I would say I'm completely inspired by what he does. It obviously works, and you need to find what works for you. So if you haven't checked out Connie Porter's video, I will link it down in the description box. And if you haven't subscribed to me already, make sure to do so. And I will catch you all soon in my next video. Bye.